You have seen the images: burning streets in Berlin, tear gas in London, water cannons in Switzerland, protesters flooding the roads chanting Free Palestine. And on the other side, Gaza, bombed, bloodied, breaking. But behind all of this chaos, one man's decisions are shaping the future of the Middle East and maybe the next global war: Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah, that guy again. Because while Israel calls it defense, the world is calling it something else: genocide. And in this video, we're breaking down how Netanyahu's war is spiraling out of control, trapping not just Gaza, but Israel, Iran, and even America in what might become a regional disaster. So let's get into it. While headlines scream IDF advancing in Gaza, the ground reality tells another story. Fresh footage, blurred by YouTube's community guidelines, shows something no one expected: Hamas fighters ambushing Israeli tanks in the Tel El-Hawa neighborhood of central Gaza. A video released by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad shows the tank hit twice. First, a sudden blast, then a direct shot that sends the vehicle up in flames. These aren't just battlefield clips. They are symbols. Symbols that the world's most powerful army, the IDF, is bleeding, house by house, street by street. And it's brutal. Hand-to-hand combat. Soldiers drag down staircases, streets soaked in blood. On social media, it's been called a zero-degree war. Because this isn't drones and distance warfare anymore. It's ground-level chaos. And as these images spread, the streets of Europe are erupting. From London to Berlin, from Zurich to Toronto, people are marching. In Berlin, tens of thousands wave Palestinian flags. In London, crowds chant ceasefire now, while riot police fire water cannons. Switzerland, a country that prides itself on neutrality, saw some of its biggest anti-war demonstrations in decades. These protests aren't fringe movements anymore. They are mainstream. Doctors, students, workers, all united against what they call Israel's genocide. And the pressure is growing. Western governments, once united behind Netanyahu, are now facing their own people's anger. Because here's the thing, the world isn't just watching Gaza, they're watching their leaders and asking, how long will you stay silent? Now let's talk about what Israel doesn't want you to see. 2 days ago, a humanitarian freedom flotilla carrying over $100,000 worth of aid was reportedly hijacked and destroyed. Every person on board was detained. No headlines, no outrage. Because in this information war, truth itself is under siege. Journalists are blocked, cameras banned, and social media feeds flooded with propaganda. And in the middle of this blackout, Israel continues to push deeper into Gaza, while the world looks away. But this isn't just Gaza's story anymore. Because while bombs fall in Gaza, missiles are being moved in the Persian Gulf. A tweet from a military surveillance handle last week showed a U.S. plan to target Iranian-linked oil tankers in the Persian Gulf under Trump's maximum pressure campaign backed by the UAE and Oman. Translation: the U.S. and its allies are tightening the noose around Iran. And Iran's response? Not subtle. The IRGC chief issued a direct warning. If there is any miscalculation in the Persian Gulf, the response will be immediate, crushing, and unforgettable. And they weren't bluffing. Reports surfaced of U.S. drones spotted over the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran responding by deploying anti-ship missiles across its Gulf islands, including Abu Musa and Larak. Think about what that means. Israel is at war with Gaza. Iran is mobilizing in the Gulf. America is watching closely. This isn't just a local conflict anymore. It's a powder keg with 3 matches ready to light. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Russia shows up. A Russian military transport plane reportedly landed at Iran's Hamadan air base, possibly carrying Su-35 fighter jets and Yak-130 aircraft. Yes, the same Russia currently neck-deep in Ukraine. Now, why is Moscow suddenly supplying Tehran? Because global power politics never sleeps. And as the US backs Israel, Russia is backing Iran, not for peace, but for leverage. This is what you call a proxy storm. And once it starts, it's nearly impossible to stop. Now let's go back to Netanyahu, the man at the center of it all. This week, he claimed that Iran is developing intercontinental ballistic missiles that can hit the American homeland. Sound familiar? Because it should. Netanyahu has been playing this exact song for decades. In the 1980s, he warned about Soviet rockets. In 2002, he swore Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. Now it's Iran's missiles from hell. Same speech, different enemy, same fear. But here's a twist. Every time Netanyahu shouts existential threat, wars get funded, bombs get dropped, and innocents pay the price. Because war keeps him in power. And now, facing massive protests in Tel Aviv and global condemnation, Netanyahu is doing what he's always done, doubling down. So where does this leave us? You've got Gaza in ruins, Israel isolated, Europe on the streets, Iran on alert, America walking on eggshells, Russia circling the board. This isn't just a war, it is a geopolitical version of Jenga. And every time someone makes a move, a missile test, a drone strike, a speech, the whole tower shakes. The scariest part? No one wants to be the one to pull the last piece, but everyone's pushing anyway. This war started with rockets. Now it's become a narrative war, a fight for truth, sympathy, and survival. And in this digital age, we're all part of it. Because every retweet, every video share, every protest sign adds fuel to the fire. But at the core of all this are people, families, children, civilians, just trying to survive while world powers play politics with their lives. So as we scroll through another day of headlines about tensions, operations, and statements, remember what those words really mean. They mean someone's home just got bombed, someone's kid didn't make it to tomorrow, someone's truth just got buried under rubble. Benjamin Netanyahu may think he's defending his nation, but in reality, he might be writing the opening chapter of the next great war. And if the world doesn't stop this madness soon, history will remember not who fired first, but who refused to stop. This is a breakdown. I'm Mazar, and if you believe the truth shouldn't be filtered, blurred, or silenced, hit subscribe. Because what's happening in Gaza, in Iran, and across the world is more than news. It's the story of our time, and it's far from over.